Hello and welcome to my corner of the internet. I'm Dark Bloom and today we're going to be talking about Forza Motorsport. And you know what time it is, it's time to slam that rewind button. So Forza has finally released a new iteration in their Motorsport series. The last game to come out was Forza 7 in 2017, and since then they've been kind of focused on Forza Horizon, which, you know, that's fair. It definitely eclipsed the Motorsport branch at this point. I think Forza Horizon has turned into its own beast, and it's deserving of so because it's some of the best racing games I've ever played. That being said, Forza Motorsport and Forza Horizon are two complete different beasts that you need to tame. Motorsport is really into that simulation aspect, while Forza Horizon kind of plays into the arcade style racing and stuff like that. Well, now Turn 10 Studios has returned to give us a new Forza Motorsport, and let me say, this is a really good game, but it has some cons to it that I think will be addressed later on. And honestly, those issues can easily be fixed. The fundamentals of the game is very solid and very fun. I'm having a great time with Forza Motorsport. And to be fair, everyone is not happy with this game. It's currently sitting at a mixed review status on Steam right now. The main focal points that I'm catching is poorly optimized, too grindy, and online only portions, which is true. You do need to be online to connect to some of the special like campaign features, so technically it's online only, but you can play offline, just very limited. So those are the main complaints, and I agree with those complaints to the full extent, even though on my end I actually haven't had too much of an issues with performance. I found like a little sweet spot in my graphics and I'm happy with it, so I don't care. But people are having like graphic pop-ins, poor textures, black roads, stuff like that, and that's completely fair to be mad about. From my experience though, I'm really enjoying this game. They have kind of reinvented the Forza Motorsport formula. They've implemented a new physics engine and stuff like that. They went back to the drawing board on the online portion and gave us something much better in my opinion. And honestly, this is a really good follow-up to Forza 7. One of the biggest changes in the Forza formula is the fact that the game no longer really focuses on car collecting. If you played any of the Forza games, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The game loves to give you cars to have fun and play around in. It just bombards you with different cars non-stop. And, you know, that's fun in its own right, but the developers decided to bring that back a little bit and really, like, implement ways so the player can focus on a couple cars, get really attached to a car, and improve one car rather than 500 other cars and not really get attached to any of them. And the way they did that was they have individual car levels for each single car. Yep, even if you buy the same exact car, the level will start at 0, even if you have one at like 80. So, that being said, it's a little bit egregious, and I really hope they fix it in a couple patches. I really love the leveling system. I think this is the right direction, but right now it's pretty damn egregious and grindy. Like, I shouldn't have to restart a car level of the same exact car if I have one at level 40 or 50 or whatever. That's a little too much, and I really hope they bring that back a little bit. The graphics are on par with perfection. The track design, the car models, everything in Forza Motorsport is just beautiful looking. And unfortunately, this game right here actually makes my computer age or feel aged a little bit, because it does struggle on like ray tracing settings and ultra and all that, and it's one of the first games to do that for me. So I'm going to have to look into maybe upgrading my PC at some point, who knows. But this game looks phenomenal, let me tell you. Now, if you're hopping into this not knowing what Forza Motorsport is all about and expecting a similar experience to Horizon, you're in for a rude awakening. Motorsport is a far cry from the Horizon formula, and if simulation racing games aren't really your thing, you might not actually have a good time with Forza Motorsport, because it is a simulation racer through and through, and I love it. I love the fact that it's that way. I'm kind of glad they didn't compromise it just because Forza Horizon pretty much exploded in popularity. Now, this isn't on the level of iRacing, obviously, but you know what? It's a really solid simulation racing game. And it's up there with Gran Turismo 7. I mean, honestly, it was Xbox's response to Gran Turismo. That being said, I kind of like the gameplay of Forza a bit better than Gran Turismo 7. Now, the car models in GT 7 looked a tad bit better, but the game overall doesn't feel as good as Forza Motorsport, and that's what ultimately gets me when it comes between these two racers. But I love them both, don't get me wrong. So you're probably wondering, well hell, what's new in Forza Motorsport? And I got your back, 'cause that's what we're going to be talking about next. There are a ton of new features in Forza Motorsport that I actually really love. For example, we have a tire and fuel management system now, and we have choices between tire compounds and stuff like that, something we never really had in the older games. And another thing that really ties those together perfectly is the trackside pit stops. Those add to the immersion so much, I can't even explain it. You would have to play the game to fully understand what I'm talking about here. But having those trackside pit stops, having AI go in and get tire changes and all that, and even real players sometimes online, is really fucking cool and immersive. The single player campaign has been completely reinvented for Forza Motorsport. It has been designed around car building, around getting different cars and getting attached to them, leveling them up, progressing through different types of series of races with different types of cars. And it's an ever-changing campaign where they're going to be adding stuff in later down the road. From what the team has said, it is essentially a spiritual successor to the career modes in Forza Motorsport 3 and 4. Basically combining that with their brand new progression system, and we got Forza Motorsport. As you can see here, there's a lot of series to choose from. I mean, I don't have all of them unlocked yet, but they're here, ready to go once I do get there. Each of them are a different type of car for the most part. And once you pick that car to start with, you build that car. You build that car into a mean fucking machine. And I really love that gameplay loop. But it needs to be scaled back a tad bit to where, at least if I buy the same car, it's a little leveled up too, you know? I shouldn't have to start the same car at level 0. Alright, I'm getting off track. The career mode is basically a simulation racing fan's paradise. I mean, it's really fun. I'm having a great time with it. Everything you would expect in a Forza game is here, from car designs to tuning to a large variety of cars, 500 at release and 20 tracks. And a really nice refined online mode, which is what we're going to be talking about next. Okay, so the online in Forza Motorsport is so much fun. They completely reworked their entire online structure for this game. You have to go through a practice lap, you have to do all that. And so what that means essentially is every player actually in the race, they pretty much put a time commitment to that race. So you don't expect everyone to just ram each other because they're not getting into the race in less than a minute. So what that results in is a much cleaner race overall. I have barely had anyone just straight up ram people off the road in Forza Motorsport. You get that asshole every now and again, but with the time commitment you kind of need for an online match, not everyone's going to be fucking a dick. And I really love how that solved a couple problems. I see what they did there, and I like it. But yeah, when you go online and you go in the feature series online mode and do all that, you pretty much have to do a practice lap like you would in the normal career mode. Thus, making everyone feel like they put time into it, thus making everyone care more. Fucking genius. The online racing is crisp, the servers are great, the player base so far has been fantastic besides a couple of assholes, and it's just been a genuinely awesome online experience. Probably one of the best parts of the game is playing online with other players, and that's coming from someone who really fucking loves single player games. Especially in Forza, man. I did not really go online much in the old Forza Motorsports. That definitely changed here though. So in conclusion, I'm having a great time in Forza Motorsport, and I think if you enjoy simulation racing games, you're going to have a great time with it too. If you don't enjoy these types of games, then I don't think I would recommend you going out and spending $60 or $70 or whatever it is on it. It is on Game Pass, so if you're not sure if you'll like this kind of thing and have Game Pass, try it on there. I don't want to say this game's fucking awesome, go out and get it, because it is a niche kind of fan base is aiming for, and not everyone's gonna vibe with this kind of gameplay. It can feel slow and boring to some people, to where me and other racing fans find it fun and engaging. This is one of those kind of games that you're probably gonna love or dislike, and if you enjoy simulation racing games, I really suggest you check out Forza Motorsport. It's a solid ass game and I'm having a great time with it. Despite all the issues the game may have, yes, it's not perfect, it has imperfections all over it, But the fundamentals of Forza Motorsport are very solid, and I have no doubt the developers are going to make the game even better in due time, probably sooner rather than later. That's about all I have today, guys. If you liked the video, go ahead and like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you think of Forza Motorsport, and I'll see you guys in the next one.